is CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Sanjay Maru. Thanks for joining us. The Gordie Howe Bridge lighting up the sky last night and having social media buzzing this morning. It was the first ever light test, but even as the bridge looks ready, officials are not committing to a fall opening. As CTV's Bob Belichico reports, new trails and a resting area are ready, but the big question still remains, when will drivers finally get to cross?
The bridge may look ready to go, but there's still a lot of things left to do.
We really are focusing on getting that construction complete. We do expect construction to complete this year, but we want to make sure that everything is working when we get to the point of opening.
On-site staff needs to be trained. Commissioning and testing continue. Lights were tested last night, and they look good.
Seeing those drawings come to life, I don't think I'll be able to recreate that experience until the first time that we go over the bridge in a car.
So there are 5,000 lights on the Gordie Howe International Bridge between aesthetics and functional. What people saw Thursday night were the aesthetic lights. Now each light bulb on that bridge has to be checked.
The lights on doesn't mean we're open, but the lights on is a really good representation of that testing process that we can do now that construction is advanced to the point that it's at.
While progress is being made on site, 10 of 34 initiatives through the Community Benefit Plan are complete, including this rest area with a map guiding riders to a newly completed trail.
We really have had the opportunity through our Community Benefits Plan to provide long-term betterments for the people most adjacent to this project.
The Sasso family is excited about the International Bridge and look forward to being able to bike across to Michigan.
I just think it's going to be a good experience to have.
This new stretch on Broadway is now open, adding to the close to 20 kilometers of trail the city has added since 2020.
Build it and they will come, and that's what you're going to see. You're going to see these trails develop, and then hopefully the connection to the waterfront. And obviously we've talked many times about having more stuff down there for people to do, so everything works together. So I'm looking forward to the synergies.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Investigators with the SIU were on scene today in the Remington Park neighborhood after Windsor police officers shot a suspect yesterday afternoon. The province's police watchdog says a 58-year-old man is in hospital with serious injuries after being shot by Windsor police. Officers responding to a call about a man threatening to harm himself. The SIU says the man fired a gun toward police before retreating inside a Stanley Street home. After failed negotiations, they say he came back out, and that's when 3 officers opened fire. The SIU has assigned 6 investigators, and they're asking anyone with video or photos from this incident to come forward. A murder trial continues in Windsor's Superior Court against a Michigan man. Again, we warn our viewers some details here may be upsetting. 47-year-old Brian Marbury has pleaded guilty to causing an indignity to a human body, but not guilty to first-degree murder. 36-year-old Sarah Boulay was killed in May 2023. Her body was found in a field behind a Huron Church Road home after a week-long search. The jury heard a cause of death could not be determined because her body had already started to decompose. Now, one video exhibit shows Marbury checking into a Huron Church Road hotel on May 26th, 2023. 8 hours later, another guest complained about noises coming from his room. The hotel manager testified he heard nothing, but did warn Marbury police would be called if there were more complaints. He described the conversation as, quote, friendly, and said he did not see anyone else in the room. The defense claims the manager spoke to Boulay, who allegedly said, "I'm fine." The manager denied that happened. And a correction tonight. Yesterday, we reported Marbury filed an assault charge against Boulay in 2020. In fact, it was Boulay who filed the complaint and Marbury was charged. That charge was withdrawn, however, after he completed anger management counseling. The trial continues Monday with 3 more weeks of evidence expected. The federal government tabled new legislation today cracking down on hate, including the use of hate or terrorism-related symbols, with Canada's Justice Minister introducing 4 new criminal code offenses. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
The flames went up the door.
Cantor Henry Topaz's Montreal synagogue has been firebombed twice since the Hamas terror attack of October 7th, 2023. He says the government's new hate crime bill is a step in the right direction.
The idea of vulnerable infrastructure, notably houses of worship, are now more protected than they ever have been before.
Tabling of documents.
Bill C-2 has 4 new hate-related criminal offenses, including making it a crime to promote hate against an identifiable group through symbols, including a swastika and those from designated terror groups, making hate-motivated crime a specific offense, and making it a crime to obstruct or intimidate people trying to access places of worship and other places like schools used by an identifiable group.
The prevalence of hate crimes in this country that steal those freedoms are something that should shock the conscience of every Canadian.
Statistics Canada shows police-reported hate crimes targeting religion have been on the rise, largely due to attacks on Jews and Muslims. In 2024, there were 229 Islamophobic attacks and 920 anti-Semitic.
The application of it is going to be really important to make sure that the right balance is struck between, making sure that Canadians still have, the basic ability to express themselves, and we're maintaining civil liberties.
The Justice Minister says that balance was top of mind when crafting the new bill. It's not clear yet what support this minority government may get from other parties as this bill moves its way through the House. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
St. Clair College is seeing a dramatic shift in who makes up its student body. A year ago, international students accounted for about 43% of enrollment, but this fall that share has dropped to just 18%. The college blaming tighter federal rules on study permits and work eligibility, even as programs like practical nursing, powerline technician, and police foundations see strong interest.
Power! Union! Power! Solidarity!
And on campus, the support worker strike continues. Today, the union holding a day of action. The union says workers are seeking better wages, benefits, and job security. The College Employer Council, however, argues that meeting the union's demands would cost colleges more than $900 million. Well, officials with Parks Canada say stray and domestic cats are becoming a growing concern at Point Pelee National Park, threatening native wildlife in one of Canada's most celebrated birding destinations. They're now asking the public to help protect the ecosystem by keeping the cats out of the park. CTV's Chris Campbell has more.
Officials say stray and loose domestic cats have been spotted inside Point Pelee National Park. Parks Canada warns the animals are preying on vulnerable species, including migratory songbirds and even flying squirrels.
Domestic cats are very good hunters. Our native wildlife isn't adapted to having cats as predators, and domestic cats are really good at catching things.
The agency says even a single cat can cause significant damage to local wildlife. Flying squirrels were wiped out of the park by cats in the 1930s. The population since rebounding. Now, promotions officer Sarah Rupert says the lesson is clear that cats can alter an entire ecosystem.
And this is one of those things a lot of people go, oh, well, it's just a little squirrel. They're cute and everything, but what impact does that have? Well, what we've since learned about flying squirrels is there's a fungus that they eat. And they spread the spores around the forest, and that fungus actually helps a lot of our trees gain nutrients through their root system. So
Parks Canada is asking anyone who sees a stray or domestic cat inside the park to report it immediately.
Be as precise about the location as you can. And whenever we get those reports, we go out, we check. We always try and live trap the animals and remove them from the park. That's our first step.
There's lots of different kinds of pets around.
They're also reminding pet owners that all animals must be on a leash or properly contained during their visit.
Molly had certainly let us know if there was a cat nearby.
A lot of people are dropping them off, as they always have in the countryside. You get tired of them, and it's a big expense, so... You think that they can survive in their own, but they're domestic cats and not good.
Rupert says visitors have brought in all kinds of animals from rabbits on leashes to cockatoos in backpacks, but all must be properly controlled.
We understand that pets are really important parts of people's families, and you want to bring them with you when you go places. Just make sure they're secure because it's for their safety too, right?
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
The Windsor Symphony Orchestra opening its new season Saturday night at the Capitol Theatre with a tribute to the late maestro Robert Franz. The evening showcasing George Gershwin's Piano Concerto, celebrating its 100th year, and Strauss's iconic Don Juan. Guest conductor Carl Topolo will lead the orchestra, with Edvard Grieg's Holberg Suite performed in special tribute to Maestro Franz, remembered for his passion, energy, and lasting impact on Windsor's music community. Tickets are available online or at the Capitol Theatre box office.
We lost our shining star. Robert was the real light of the Windsor Symphony. And the wonderful thing is that we have the honor of being able to continue his artistic vision. What a gift for all of us.
Canada and Mexico have agreed to a strategic partnership, vowing deeper ties in the face of Donald Trump's trade war on both countries. The U.S., meanwhile, expected to make major demands during renegotiations of the trilateral trade agreement known as CUSMA. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
Look at that, pride of Canada right there.
Prairie wheat being offloaded from a Canadian train in Mexico. A choreographed moment to emphasize how improving rail lines, ports, and pipelines can lead to economic growth in both countries. The Prime Minister's strategic partnership with President Claudia Sheinbaum aims to boost trade with Mexico. The results will be tracked.
Every 3 months, there will be an accountability mechanism for us to reconvene with Mexico, and in particular the ministers responsible for the various items in the action plan.
The plan also calls for more cooperation in fighting drug cartels and human trafficking. But analysts say this meeting was more about concerns that the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement is unraveling.
It really is about making sure that we're singing from the same songbook, and that Mexico and Canada are not going to get played off of one another.
This after some troubled trade history. During the first Trump administration, Mexico signed a side deal that threatened a North American agreement. But these two leaders say they're committed to negotiating a continental agreement.
CUSMA, USMCA, is strength together. It's strength of the three countries together.
Now, after the U.S. launched public consultations, Canada is doing the same.
Formally, the beginning of the Canadian consultative process with Canadian industry, businesses, workers.
In the meantime, LeBlanc will be visiting Washington in the next few weeks to continue trade talks. He'll also be leading a trade mission to Mexico in the near future. All this as CUSMA is set to expire in June 2026. Judy Trin, CTV News, Mexico City.
Still ahead, 2 dash-ins, 1 walk, and a whole lot of laughs. An Ontario man double dog dares you not to laugh at this spectacle of a stroll.
5K a day is back on 93.9
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining me now on this Friday night. And Gary, overall this week, a beautiful stretch of weather. Can we expect more of the same heading into the weekend?
Good evening, Sanjay. That is indeed the key question, and partially, yes, for Saturday, not so much for Sunday. Today will be similar to what I'm projecting for Saturday. Temperatures mid-20s, 24 to 25 degrees, just like today. Mostly sunny to start, just like today, and a nice light breeze. By the way, the low this morning was a mild 18 degrees before dawn. Ridge-high pressures kept us mostly clear of any clouds-bearing rain showers, right? And tonight's going to be a quiet one. Quiet and pleasant, partly cloudy, just benign, really, in terms of the pattern. But things start to change as the cold front sweep. Southwesterly draw and flow will drive showers across Michigan, parts of upper Ohio, maybe even some light thunderstorms. I can't rule that out. As of this time, we're looking at light rainfall, but organized showers, thunderstorms little cells starting to erupt, and locally a little bit more intense could mean steadier and heavier rainfall and winds. That's the projection for Sunday afternoon, say around 4 p.m. through supper time 6, 7, and 8. So, in answer to Sanjay's most important question, yes, we'll look at some pleasant weather and then some rains on the way. The overnight low, 13, partly cloudy with a light breeze, about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. And here's that breakdown. There's your showers. And we need the rains. What we can expect is about 20 millimeters of rainfall. That would be considered a significant rain event. But again, sunny to start, Saturday 24, same temperature for Sunday, cloudy in the morning Sunday, and the clouds bring the rain. I think the probability stat's higher. Right now, the computer system is saying 30%. I think it'll be closer to about 60 to 70. So, rain's on the way. We need it. Fall, look at this, starts on Monday at 2:19 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 26 degrees on a mostly cloudy day and a good chance of seeing some more rain. And rain's the story on a cloudy Tuesday, a possibility in the morning. And look at those temperatures, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to close out the first work week of the fall season 2025. Cooler and seasonal, what we would expect to see, 21 or 22 as your daytime highs. That's a look at your weather.
Thank you, Gary. Well, brace for more than that rain. Residents will need to brace themselves for another project that will slow traffic down on Banwell. Work is set to begin September 29th as the city of Windsor gets set to do a full mill and pave of Banwell between Little River Road and Tecumseh. The city councillor for the area says public works money was allotted to the project to help connect roads like Banwell, which had become deficit in recent years. The $1 million project is expected to be done by late October. And heads up, there will be a couple more red light cameras in the city Monday, bringing the total to 16 active cameras across Windsor, with 4 more still to come this year. The new pair will snap photos at Lauson and Tecumseh and at Lauson Line and Lauson. Plus, the city is still speeding forward with plans to put automated speed cameras in 5 school zones starting in December. Well, new figures from Stats Canada are adding to signals of slowing demand in the economy. Retail sales dropped nearly 1% in July, down to just under $70 billion. Statistics Canada says the decline hit most sectors, with supermarkets and clothing stores leading the drop, the only increase coming from motor vehicle and parts dealers. An early estimate shows sales may have rebounded in August, up about 1%. Canada's main stock index ending the week with a more than 300-point jump, helped by strength in base metals. In Toronto, the TSX gains 315 points, and in New York, the Dow adds 173, the Nasdaq up 161. The Canadian dollar rising 0.05 of a cent today. Gold gains more than $27 an ounce, while oil falls 86 cents a barrel.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
Windsor Public Library is gearing up to move the central branch before 2028, when its current lease expires at the Paul Martin Building. Library officials want the public's input on this. Where should they go and what should the new spot look like? There will be a public information session on Tuesday from 5 until 7 p.m. at the Windsor International Aquatic Center. 3 library layouts and amenity options will be presented, with a survey to follow.
We know often people like to see things live and in person, so the Public Info Center won't have a formal presentation, but we'll have storyboards up so that people could see some concepts of what the new central branch could look like. And then we'll have information on where the survey can be found on our website, or have paper copies available should people prefer to fill one in on the spot.
And at the center of this session, all smiles today as organizers handed over more than $10,000 raised through this year's Run with Responders 5K. The money is being split 3 ways, with checks for $3,500 each going to the Canadian Mental Health Association, the Windsor Firefighters Benefit Fund, and the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. Nearly 400 runners and walkers took part in the 3rd annual event. And a record year for another annual fundraiser, On a Mission for the Mission, raising $38,000, the money being shared among 5 food banks and community groups across Windsor-Essex, including $30,000 for the downtown mission. Meantime, in Wheatley, another setback for the water treatment plant there after a fire 2 years ago. Repairs have been delayed again, with the plant now expected to be back online in November. Officials say stopgap measures are still meeting demand, however, in the meantime. Well, there's a new treatment helping to improve an autoimmune condition that can have devastating effects on a patient's life. 2 drugs are promising to have fewer side effects while being easier to administer. CTV's Pauline Chan explains.
I thought I was having a stroke. I thought maybe I had Bell's palsy. I had blurry vision. My right side of my face was kind of, saggy.
Before he was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis in 2021, Manly Lavender was in a wheelchair. But treatments, especially his 7th and latest medication, have brought him back to mobility and a zest for life.
I was able to cut my grass. I was able to walk my dog.
And while his current treatment is working well, he hails the approval of 2 new medications in Canada.
The door is being cracked open.
Before there were any treatments for this many years ago, it was a fatal condition.
The new treatments are called Zilbrisk, the first self-administered daily injection for generalized myasthenia gravis, or GMG, and Restigo, a subcutaneous injection given weekly at a clinic.
Zilbrisk is what's known as a complement inhibitor, and the Restigo is what's known as an FC receptor inhibitor. And these 2 new classes of drugs are new mechanisms.
Dr. Hans Katzberg says they are an improvement because they have fewer side effects and are much easier to take than the current hour-long infusions. Humera Osman of Muscular Dystrophy Canada, which is the umbrella group that covers GMG, says in the past, medications could take 12 to 18 months to show any effects. Now,
the effect has been observed much earlier. So you're really able to tell if you are responding well to treatment.
Many people don't have the resources and the time and the wherewithal to travel into a big center like Toronto and Ottawa and London, so they settle.
But he hopes being able to take your medications at home will mean more patients can get the best therapies available. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
The province is offering up funding to help construction workers train their potential future colleagues. $1.5 million will go toward training 100 experienced construction workers on how to become mentors. They will then help train others in, quote, emerging home construction technologies and modern building practices. The mentees would include recent graduates and those considered at risk of job displacement. Ontario's labor ministers says the investment will help open doors to good-paying jobs, leading to more housing being built in Ontario communities. And Gary joins me again for a final look at weather. Gary.
Sanjay, I'm looking forward to fall. Those who know me over the last 8 years, I've lived here in the great city of Windsor. I've expressed how much I love the autumn season. It is my favorite, and summer is my least favorite. Yeah, it just goes that way with me. So I'm looking forward to Monday when we kick it off. I have to confess, the last week and a half, 2 weeks of summer 2025 have been pleasant. And we'll continue that into Saturday. A comfortable 24 degrees Celsius, a bit windy in the afternoon, but mostly sunny. Showers on the way. Sunday afternoon, again, a higher probability towards 4 or 5 p.m. Rainy for the first day of fall. Look at this. Monday, it starts at 2:19 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Then showers and cooler, lower 20s and cloudy Tuesday through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. Wherever you are, enjoy your weekend, your weather, and the upcoming fall season. I can't wait. I'll be jumping up and down on TV Monday night. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. We will see you in the fall. Well, we leave you tonight with a story you could say is about puppy love and how one man is going the extra mile to spread joy as he takes his daily walks with his wiener dog, a duo getting plenty of double takes. With more on why, here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
Do you want to go for a walk? That's the question Rich Lutchford loves to ask his best friend Maya, a tiny dachshund whose daily walks involve more than the usual gear. Go on then, let's go. Because Lutchford, hoping to fetch some smiles, aiming to turn heads with an inflatable suit that has nothing to do with Halloween.
Just thought it would be funny.
Lutchford, who works as a roofer, simply started regularly walking Maya in public dressed like this. A wiener dog walking a wiener dog.
People kind of look at me like, what is this? Other people are smiling, and I point at them and say, that's what it's all about. That smile. Have a great day. Yes! Have a great day!
Lutchford hoping to add some levity to a world that could use it right now.
Yeah!
And this, the kind of response he gets everywhere he goes.
I've had literally people scream, stop, say, oh my gosh, and then drive off.
And of course, everyone wants a picture. What do you love about it?
Everything. That he's walking his dog like that. I love it.
I think it's great. Lutchford also posting videos of himself doing things like going to the dog park and wandering through a grocery store. All sorts of local groups are now asking him to make appearances. The mayor of neighboring Whitby noticed and awarded him a certificate, acknowledging the joy he was bringing to others.
I thought it was pretty cool.
So what does Maya think of it all? Lutchford says she gets excited when he puts on the suit.
I think she likes me more as a dog than as a human.
And Lutchford, he plans to keep on warming as many hearts as he can, leaving his mark one smile at a time. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Oshawa, Ontario.
An amazing story there. That is your news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. We'll see you right back here on Monday, the first day of fall.